Music is more than sound. It's people, story, it's connection. Music and everything in between with sun.
Hi, beautiful music family. I hope you're doing fine. Oh, I was reading comments this week under a discussion about artists canceling concerts because of disappointing ticket sales. And I stayed in these comments for quite some time. I love reading comments because people were talking. And I don't mean the usual social media arguments. I saw people saying, for example, I used to go to concerts all the time, or I love live music. I really wanted to see this artist, but then came the but. The ticket is too expensive, the hotel is too expensive, the train is too expensive, food becomes more expensive, bills are waiting at home. Yes, and suddenly going to a concert is not a small decision anymore. One person basically compared the cost of a concert experiences to buying food for a month. And that made me think. Because maybe fans haven't stopped loving music. I know they haven't. Maybe fans are not refusing to support artists. I know 100% they love support artists. Maybe they are simply becoming much more selective about where their money goes. And if concerts are being canceled because the tickets are not selling, I think we need to listen to the fans before we blame them. And yeah, let me introduce myself before we dive deeper into it. I come from a promotion side. I work around artists and music. And of course, I always look at things from the artist side. What does the artist need? How can they grow? How can they build their audience? How can they make money from their music? But I also look at the community, the supporters. I talk to music lovers. I see comments. I see conversations. And sometimes I think we in the music industry are so busy talking about numbers, sales, and growth that we forget to ask a very simple question. What is happening in the life of the person who's supposed to buy the ticket? Because there is a real person on the other side. Do you know that? Maybe this person has children. Maybe they just received a huge bill. Maybe the rent went up. Maybe food costs more. Maybe they have to travel 3 hours to a concert. By the way, even me myself, I traveled at some point even 7 hours to see an artist. And yes, your concert may be very beautiful. Your production may be so amazing, but people still need to make a financial decision because you're not the only artist. And let's say in a period of 1 year, you're not the only artist some people want to watch. They want to see many artists, so they have to make decisions. And I think this conversation needs a little bit more understanding from both sides. What I also believe is fans are not broke. I believe they are becoming more selective too. If you as an artist say, people don't support my music, I think that sentence you should remove and actually understand the people who love your music and still want to experience your music. People still want to stand in a room and sing their favorite song with thousands of other people, but people are looking at their money differently. And yes, some people simply cannot afford a concert. That's reality. But there are also people who can afford it and still say no. And that's the interesting part here, because now we are talking about value. This is not always a question of having zero money. Sometimes the person is saying, I have the money, but I don't believe this experience is worth this amount to me. Artists and the industry need to understand the difference, because if your audience becomes more selective and then shouting, support the artist, will not automatically sell the ticket. You need to understand how your audience makes decisions. You see, a person can have 150 euro in their bank account that they could spend on entertainment and still look at your concert ticket and say no. That doesn't automatically mean they don't support you. Maybe they are asking, is this experience worth 150 euro to me? And if the answer is no, artists need to understand why. Not attack the fans. This is what I never understand. Like you should listen to them. Concerts are actually competing now these days more and more with groceries, with electricity, with rent, or children clothes, Yeah. Or school trips, and definitely unexpected bills. So when people need to save money, luxury and entertainment are often the first things they look at. restaurants, cinema, trips, concerts, So now your ticket is not only competing with another artist ticket, your ticket may be competing with a weekend trip, a new pair of shoes for the child, or a full shopping trolley. Understand me, I'm not saying artists should perform for free. I would never say this. Artists need to get paid. Musicians need to get paid. The crew needs to get paid. But venues cost money, travel costs money, production costs money. I understand this, But understand also the cost of a concert does not magically put more money into the fan's bank account. Both things can be true at the same time. The concert can be expensive to produce, and the fan cannot afford a ticket. This is why we need new ideas. And for some of you, and I'm talking to the artists, you only see the ticket price. Now, you planning a concert, and I want you to really stop looking only at your ticket price. Let's say your ticket is 70 euro. You think, hey, 70 euros, okay. But then your fan is going to see, okay, it's a 70 euro ticket price. Then I have to spend 40 euro for the train. 40 euros actually. Nah, okay, 40 euro one way, maybe 80. Sometimes even the train ticket is more expensive than the concert tickets. Then you spend, let's say, 100 euro, 120, 150 for the hotel. Oh, and then don't forget, we need to eat food, drinks, the transport from the station to the venue. Maybe they need somebody to watch their kids. There was someone coming from another country coming over, and I spoke to a friend of mine. She said, and she has 4 kids. And she was so excited because she really loves the artist, like she loves the music. And she said, oh, Sani, I'm so excited to go to this concert. She is a mother of 4 kids, and she had to get a babysitter. That cost also money. She traveled 3 hours to get to the concert, 3 hours. And the artist had such a huge delay that she was not even able to watch the artist. She had to travel back because she needed to get back on time. And she spent money on a babysitter. She spent money on a ticket. She spent money on the traveling costs. And all together, when she came back, she decided not to support this artist ever again. No matter the excuse, but for her, it was a big thing. A mother of 4 kids, that amount of money, what she even would spend for her kids, she invested just to see you as an artist. So this is why I think artists should look at, the full fan journey. Where's my audience coming from? Do most of my fans live in the city? Ask those questions. The fans are always willing to tell you. They give you so much information in the comment section. I always say this. But you need to communicate with them. And if not you, maybe you have people or your team around and start asking those questions. Can they get home after the concert? Or do they actually have to book a hotel? Does the show end after the last train? And the hotels are they, if you don't ask those questions, like, do you even care about your fans? And of course, I'm not saying you solve all the problems and you cannot like spin yourself around, because you also need to book the concert hall. You need to know where it is. But you as an artist, you need to listen to the people. And trust me, I know you're not you're not part of the people who actually make the prices for the train or the hotels and stuff. Of course, you cannot change the prices, right? But understanding the full cost can help you make better decisions. Maybe you choose a different city. Maybe an earlier show time makes more sense. Maybe you work with regional artists. Maybe you create more than one smaller show instead of expecting everybody to travel to one big city. Think beyond the ticket sale. Artists don't always are in control of every part of the ticket pricing. I understand that. There are promoters, venues, production costs, ticket system, teams. Many things can be involved. But somebody need to ask the question, who is the audience? If your core audience is mainly young people, students, or family, can they afford your life experience? You can build a whole brand around being close to your community, but if your community cannot enter the room, there's a problem. And I think before planning bigger and bigger shows, artists should look at their real audience data. Not your dream audience, your real audience. Who comments? Who's buying? Where do they live? How old are they? What shows did they support before? Ask questions. Use your social media. You have those tools. I always say this, communicate with people. Which city should I come to? Like these kind of questions. What price range feels realistic for a live show in that city I want to have my concert? Would you rather see a smaller show or a large production? You don't have to let fans run your whole business, but information helps to make decisions. Greetings to the independent artists right here. Please don't book a venue because it looks good on Instagram. Please. A big room does not automatically mean career growth. Before you book a show, can your audience actually afford you? And also, do you have the audience in that area? Having 100,000 followers doesn't mean you can sell 2,000 tickets, for example, in Berlin. Where are these followers? Are they in Germany? Are they in Ghana, America, UK? Where? Where are they? Maybe half of them followed you because of one viral video 2 years ago. Social media numbers are not ticket buyers. Test the interests of, the supporters or the people. Like I keep on repeating myself. Like check the comment section. Create a waiting list. Create a landing page, for that event before you're making huge decisions. Let people register their interest. In which city, how many people, what type of experiences, use information. Again and again, information does not mean you have to do everything people tell you. And always remember, every information I'm giving you here is simply information. It doesn't mean you have to use everything or do everything I talk about, but maybe it gives you another way of seeing things, another direction you can go, and definitely have a better understanding. And I also want to talk about something I saw many people mentioning: golden circle, VIP, premium, front of stage, the early entry. Oh, another level and more cost. At some point, I'm thinking, how many circuits do we need? I understand premium experiences. I understand VIP packages. I actually personally, I love them. And actually, from a business side, creating different offers can make sense. But we also need to think about the emotional side, because fans may start feeling like the more money I have, the closer I can be to the artist. And if I don't have enough money, I can support you from the back of the room. That feeling can damage at some point the relationship, even though we all actually kind of going by that. I have been entering at so many concerts, so I know what I'm talking about. Me too, I love to be closest to the artist. Having a VIP ticket and all of this is very beautiful. But when your whole artist brand is built around we are family, my fans mean everything to me, I'm so close to my supporters. Oh, that's fine. But then think about how your life experiences reflects that message. I'm not saying remove every VIP ticket. I'm not saying this. Look at the balance. Maybe your premium experience includes something meaningful that doesn't simply take the normal experiences away from everybody else. Make a sound check experience also, a small Q&A, maybe even a creative workshop, maybe a private listening session. Think differently. Premium doesn't always need to mean I stand 3 meters close to the stage. And that's the reason why I ask, at what point are we not selling a concert ticket anymore, but selling access to the artist? I understand the business side of it. But if your artist brand says, my fans are my family, as I said already, the more money you have, the closer you can come to me. Of course, like I said, I do understand the artist point of view, but at the same time, I also understand the supporter's point of view. And we should start talking about that too. And sometimes the gap between the regular tickets and those tickets where you stand very close to the, it's seriously crazy. Some of the artists taking, I really have to say, taking too much from the people. Maybe premium experiences need to become more creative, not just more expensive. I actually saw in the comments from people saying they stopped supporting artists because of political statements. I'm not here to tell artists, hey, never talk about politics. I'm also not here to tell you need to use your platform for political topics. That is your decision. But I want you to understand something from a business and branding perspective. Your opinion becomes part of how people see your artist brand. Whether you like it or not, you can say my music has nothing to do with my opinion, but the fan may see it differently. People connect the person with the art, especially today, because social media gives fans access to your thoughts every day. So if you speak publicly about a sensitive topic, understand there will definitely come a reaction. Some people may connect with you more, some people may leave you. That doesn't automatically mean you should stay silent. It means you should know what you stand for. Don't post something because everybody else is posting it. Don't jump into a political conversation because you think it will give you more engagement. And please understand the topic before you speak. You have a platform, words have impact, right? Whatever you say, it has an impact. Be yourself, but be aware. As I said, I'm not saying you should stay silent, but understand that public words can have public consequences. Know what you stand for before you speak. Okay, so let me go back to the concert situation. I actually believe that smaller concerts have a huge opportunity right now. And maybe independent artists need to stop looking at small venues as failure. A smaller room can feel special. You can create a real experiences. You can talk to people direct. You can build, stronger connections. Maybe long life connections. You never know. The production may be simpler and you can go closer to where your audience actually lives. One comment I read basically said reasonable ticket prices, small locations, go around the smaller towns. And I thought, you know what? Why not? Why does every artist think the goal needs to be the biggest room immediately? Maybe 150 people in a full room is better than 800 people in a room built for 2,000. It has a lot to do with emotions, visuals, financially, depending on the cost, and also for your confidence as an artist. You build, you learn how to perform, learn what your audience reacts to, you grow. Small is not embarrassing, empty is uncomfortable. Sorry, but that's the truth. And there was another comment who gave a beautiful idea, which I read. Why don't more artists come together? One stage and 3 artists, or maybe 4. One event, different fan communities. And I'm not talking about randomly putting artists together. Like, I'm not saying put a gospel artist with a hardcore techno DJ and a children's singer on one stage. And Sunny says we should all collaborate. No. Which artists make sense together? Maybe the sound connects, maybe the audience connects, maybe the story connects. Now you can share some costs. You can introduce artists to new audiences, and the fans. Like seriously, I experienced this myself. I went to a concert. I'm not mentioning now names, but I went to a very well-known artist, female artist, very beautiful one, and she actually, she's from America, and she brought another female artist from the UK, very beautiful, very, very amazing. I seriously enjoyed the concert so much, and I never heard about that UK artist. I never heard about her before. Experiencing her, the energy was so amazing. And yeah, this is how artists can introduce another artist to a beautiful audience. And they didn't have the same style, but it still fit the concept. It was really, really beautiful. So independent artists could create their own small live concepts. Let's say maybe 3 Afrobeat artists, maybe an acoustic night, female independent artists, like maybe artists from one city, maybe a songwriter evening. Oh, that would be also something very amazing. I would love to enter into this one. Build a concept. Don't just book a room and say, hey, guys, come and watch me, and spend a lot of money on me. you know, Give the event an identity. And I'm going back to where I started. When tickets don't sell, please don't immediately blame the fans. Don't post angry messages saying nobody supports real music anymore. Don't shame your followers. Don't tell people they can buy coffee every day but cannot buy your ticket. You don't know people's financial situation. And even if somebody has the money, they still have the right to decide how they spend it. Your job is not to guilt people into the room. Your job is to create an experience people want to pay for. And if tickets are not selling, look at everything. Is the price right? Is the city right? Is the venue too big? Did you start promotion early enough? Does your audience know the concert exists? Are there extra costs? Are you giving people a reason to come? Sometimes you can do everything right and the show still doesn't work. That happens. Business has risk. Music has also risk. But learn from it. Ask questions. Look at the data. Talk to your community. And then you have to change something. I think live music is going through a very interesting time because people love music. That's a fact. People love music, but people are thinking more carefully about where their money goes into. And instead of seeing that only as a problem, maybe artists can see it as the information. Maybe we need smaller shows. Maybe we need better live concepts. Maybe artists need to work together. Maybe premium experiences need to become more creative. Maybe we need to understand the full cost for the fan, and maybe before booking the venue, we need to ask more questions. And I hope maybe one sentence from this whole podcast give you a new idea for your next show. That's so enough for me. I would be happy to get some feedback, and I also really want to hear from the fans on this topic. Please give us some feedback. Let us know. I mean, you can let us know, have concert tickets become too expensive for you? Do you go to fewer concerts than before? And maybe what would make a live experience worth the money for you? Because I think artists need to hear these conversations too. And maybe I can build somehow a bridge towards that. So I would love to hear from the supporters, from the fans about the concert tickets and the experiences they already have. I always say, one brain is not working as good as like many brains. It's nice to come together and basically have those conversations to make sure that we have a better understanding, and through the better understanding create better concepts. I always thank you for all those beautiful conversations on all the social media platforms, and as I said already, your feedback is a gift for me. And if you have any questions, let's talk about them. And in the show notes, you can find my website. You can also find all my Sunny Sunshine social media platforms where you can reach out to me. And I'm always looking forward to see, hear, or read from you. Take care of yourself, and to the beautiful artists out there, listen to your audience. Not only when they are clapping for you. Much, much love. Sunny.
Ooh, music and everything in between with Sunny.